Ladies and gentlemen, life does not change in a day, but at times can begin to change in a moment. The moment you decide to change, times your pattern asterisk. The universe responds not to what we wish for, but to what we times practice asterisk. Small habits are seeds, and every seed contains a future. Today, I want to share with you 10 small habits, simple, quiet, almost invisible, that hold the power to transform your entire life. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 1. Speak only what you want to see. Asterisk, asterisk. Your words are not casual. They are commands to life itself. When you say, I can't, you close the door. When you say, it is possible for me, you open the way. Speak as if what you desire is already forming in the unseen. Speak not of problems, but of outcomes. Speak not of what frightens you, but what strengthens you. Life listens. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 2. Begin each day with 1 silent minute of intention. Asterisk, asterisk. Before the world claims you, claim yourself. 1 minute of stillness. 1 quiet declaration. Today, I walk in favor. Today, things work for me. That single minute is not a delay, it is a spiritual alignment. When the mind is set, the day obeys. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 3. Practice the law of release. Asterisk, asterisk. Let go quickly. Do not carry what is not yours to solve, fix, or control. The hands that cling cannot receive. Release resentment. Release fear. Release the illusion that everything depends on you. The universe moves faster when you stop pushing and start trusting. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 4. Do 1 kind act in secret every day. Asterisk, asterisk. The most powerful giving is the kind that has no audience. When you give in silence, you activate a law that returns to you in unexpected blessings. You become a magnet for good, because you are good without performance. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 5. Rewrite your self-image daily. Asterisk, asterisk. The world reflects not who you are, but who you believe you are. Asterisk. Take 30 seconds to affirm, I am worthy of the life I desire. I am guided. I am supported. I am becoming more of who I was created to be. See yourself not as you were, but as you are becoming. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 6. Carry 1 thought of gratitude wherever you go. Asterisk, asterisk. Gratitude is not a reaction, it is a vibration. It turns ordinary moments into portals of abundance. A grateful person is rich long before money arrives, safe long before rescue comes, healed long before the symptoms disappear. Gratitude calls forth more. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 7. Move your body with love, not punishment. Asterisk, asterisk. Your body is the instrument through which your destiny plays. Move it not with judgment, but with appreciation. Stretch, walk, dance, not to earn worth, but because you already are worthy. A body honored becomes a body healed. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 8. Protect your inner atmosphere. Asterisk, asterisk. What you watch, hear, scroll, repeat. These are not harmless. They shape the weather of your mind. Guard your energy like a gatekeeper of a sacred garden. Not everything deserves access. Peace is not found, it is preserved. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 9. End every night with a closing thought. Asterisk, asterisk. Before sleep, release the day by saying, everything that belongs to me is already on its way. Everything that is not mine dissolves. You do not sleep to escape life, you sleep to reset your faith. Many breakthroughs arrive while the mind is resting. Asterisk, asterisk. Habit 10. Expect miracles. Even in small things, asterisk, asterisk. Expectation is the blueprint of manifestation. When you expect the best, you train life to deliver it. Expect the message, the idea, the opportunity, the open door, the unexpected blessing. Miracles are not rare, they are simply unnoticed by those who stopped expecting them. Small habits are whispers, but they move mountains. They do not ask for effort as much as awareness. Begin with 1, then another, and watch how life rearranges itself not suddenly, but certainly. Would you like me to? Expand each habit into long-form content. Turn this into a 22-minute speech with timestamps. Add 30 SEO hashtags plus tags plus description. Just tell me what you want next. The words you speak shape the life you experience because every word carries an energy, a tone, a vibration that is silently building the structure of your future long before any action is taken. Most people speak as if words are just sounds, as if they float away the moment they are spoken, but words take root. They become beliefs, they form patterns, and they eventually solidify into reality. When you speak, you are not merely describing your world, you are programming it. The universe does not respond to what you want, it responds to what you times declare asterisk. Every sentence is either a seed of possibility or a seed of limitation, and most people plant weeds unconsciously, repeating phrases like, "Nothing ever works out for me," "Life is hard," "I'll never have enough." Without understanding, they are announcing a destiny they do not want. The mind treats repeated words as truth, and life follows the mind. The spoken word is creative power in motion, and when you learn to speak with intention instead of habit, you begin to notice that the world rearranges itself to match your vocabulary. Think about how easily people speak negativity over themselves and their future, yet how hesitant they are to speak greatness, success, or abundance out loud. They fear sounding delusional, not realizing that the real delusion is believing that complaining, criticizing, and verbalizing defeat has no consequence. Every complaint is a request for more of what you're complaining about. Every self-insult is a command to the subconscious to keep creating proof of that belief. Every "I can't" becomes a cage. Every "I am" becomes a prophecy. People underestimate the power of language because they are used to speaking emotionally instead of spiritually. They speak based on what times is asterisk instead of what can be. They speak from memory, not imagination. But the life you want is not hiding in your past, it is waiting in your speech. Words are the blueprint of destiny, and whatever you repeat, you rehearse, and whatever you rehearse, you manifest. There is a reason ancient teachings, sacred texts, and wise masters all emphasize the spoken word. They understood that sound is frequency, and frequency builds form. If a person constantly says, "I never have enough money," the subconscious mind interprets that as a command to block opportunities, repel abundance, and magnetize struggle. The subconscious does not judge the statement, it simply fulfills it. Likewise, when someone says, "Everything I need is coming to me," even if they don't yet see the evidence, they are tuning their inner world to a frequency that will eventually pull the external into alignment. This is why declarations like, "I always attract the right people," "I am guided, life supports me," are not just motivational, they are structural. Each time you affirm these words, you are carving a new path in your mind, and life responds to that carved path with matching circumstances. Some people say, "But what if I don't believe the words yet?" That is precisely why you must speak them. You don't speak declarations because they are true, you speak them until they become true. You are not lying to yourself when you affirm your desired reality. You are rejecting the lie that your current reality is the limit. A seed does not look like the tree it will become. A declaration does not look like the life it will manifest. A single spoken word is the beginning of a future you cannot yet see. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, and speech is the vehicle that transports it. It is also important to understand that silence is not neutral. When you refuse to speak life, when you stay quiet out of fear, doubt, or insecurity, you are not avoiding creation, you are allowing default creation to take over. Life will not stay empty just because you did not fill it with intention. If you do not command it, circumstance will command it for you. Negative voices from the world will take the place of your voice if you do not use it. You must speak life on purpose, speak direction, speak identity, speak favor, speak alignment, speak power, because the world around you is constantly trying to recruit you into speaking the opposite. You can always tell what someone believes by the way they speak. People unconsciously confess their faith and struggle. their belief in limitation, their loyalty to fear. The ones who rise are not always the strongest, the smartest, or the most connected. Often they are simply the ones who refuse to speak against themselves. They speak solutions while others recite problems. They speak possibilities while others narrate barriers. They speak as if the door is already open, and because they speak it, the door eventually opens. Words travel ahead of us, preparing the path. Your life is walking in the direction your voice sends it. Changing your words is not about toxic positivity or pretending everything is perfect. It is about spiritual authority. It is about refusing to let external conditions dictate your internal language. You don't speak based on what you see, you speak based on what you are creating. This is the difference between a person ruled by life and a person ruling their life. Someone may say, "But I am just being realistic," not realizing that what they call realism is actually time's agreement with limitation asterisk. Realism is often just fear dressed in logic. Creation requires a bolder language. If you want to transform your life, begin with the sentences you allow to come out of your mouth. Replace "I don't know what to do with the right idea" as "finding me now." Replace "I'm so unlucky" with "everything is aligning in my favor." Replace "that's impossible" with "there is a way." Even if I don't see it yet. You may not feel the shift on day one, but your reality will start to bend in the direction of your upgraded vocabulary. Words first change consciousness, then consciousness changes life. You are not waiting on the world to change. The world is waiting on times your word, times to change. When you speak life, life answers. When you speak power, power finds you. When you speak lack, lack is loyal. When you speak abundance, abundance recognizes its name. You are a creator in disguise, and your words are the proof of that power. Small daily rituals create powerful long-term transformation because repetition is the architect of identity. What you do once may go unnoticed, but what you do every day becomes who you are. The biggest mistake people make is assuming that change must be dramatic, loud, overwhelming, or revolutionary, when in truth, the most life-altering shifts often start as quiet, almost invisible habits repeated with devotion. A small habit is not small because of its size, but because of the stage of its development. Just like an oak tree begins as a seed, a lifelong transformation begins as a simple practice. People underestimate the power of the everyday because they are addicted to the idea of instant results. But real transformation is not an event, it is an accumulation. Tiny actions compound into unstoppable momentum when they are repeated with intention. There is a reason why some people live the same year 50 times and call it a life. They do not change what they do daily, so nothing in their life evolves. They wait for a big opportunity, a big break, a big motivation burst, not realizing that the real breakthrough is hidden in small consistency. A person who reads 10 pages every day will read more books in a year than someone who waits until the right time to read. A person who saves a small amount daily will have more wealth than someone waiting until they earn enough to start saving. A person who practices gratitude for 1 minute every morning will experience more peace than someone who waits until life becomes perfect before they feel thankful. It is not what you intend to do that changes your life. It is what you times repeatedly times do. Small habits are powerful not because they demand effort, but because they bypass resistance. The mind resists change when it feels threatened or overwhelmed. But when a habit is small, it becomes almost impossible for the mind to reject. You may resist meditating for 30 minutes, but not for 2. You may avoid writing an entire book, but not a single paragraph. You may not commit to running 5 miles, but you can commit to putting on your shoes and walking for 5 minutes. Once a habit is started, momentum grows. Small habits are the doorway through which bigger habits are born. They are the quiet beginnings that lead to loud outcomes. The real magic of daily rituals lies in something deeper than discipline, identity shift. Every small habit sends a message to the subconscious. This is who I am. When you act like a writer every day, even for 10 minutes, you begin to believe you times are times a writer. When you move your body every day, Even gently, you begin to see yourself as someone who values health. When you speak truth and love daily, you begin to embody integrity. Identity is not built by thinking, wishing, or planning. It is built by repeated doing. Your actions teach your mind who you are. And once identity shifts, behavior follows naturally, not through force, but through alignment. What most people call failure is not lack of ability, but lack of consistency. They start a habit with excitement, then stop before the habit has time to compound. They say it didn't work, but the truth is they didn't work it long enough. Every habit has 3 phases: invisible effort, visible progress, undeniable transformation. The tragedy is that most people quit during the invisible stage. They mistake silence for stagnation, forgetting that the seed grows roots long before it breaks the surface. Small habits change your life, the same way night turns into morning, not suddenly, but certainly. You don't notice the light until it fills the room. The reason small habits matter is because they shift your inner state before your outer world catches up. When you do something every day that aligns with your future, you start living from the future instead of reacting to the present. You stop waiting for circumstances to change and start becoming the person who changes circumstances. A person who prays, writes, trains, plans, studies, reflects, or creates daily is no longer a passenger of life. They become a designer of it. Rituals give structure to destiny. They build spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical muscle, one quiet day at a time. It is not enough to want a new life. You must ritualize it. Desire without habit is fantasy. Vision without repetition is illusion. Transformation is not about doing more, but about doing what matters, times every day, asterisk. The genius of small habits is that they require almost no willpower once they become automatic. They stop being effort and become rhythm. When brushing your teeth or locking your door requires no thought, the same can be true for journaling, stretching, affirming, visualizing, reading, saving money, drinking water, speaking kindly, or working on your dream. The goal is not to push yourself forever. The goal is to program yourself until the habit pulls you forward. One of the most powerful ways to build life-changing habits is to attach them to something you already do. Don't create a new time. Attach a new habit to an existing moment. After I wake up, I meditate. After I eat, I write. After I shower, I say affirmations. After I open my laptop, I learn something new. The habit becomes part of your life flow instead of something you must force into your schedule. Another way is to start so small you cannot fail. 1 sentence a day becomes a book. 1 push-up a day becomes strength. 1 minute of stillness becomes peace. It is not the size of the habit, it is the permanence of it. One day you will look back and realize the habit you thought was small was actually sacred. The day you decided to speak kinder words to yourself. The day you began drinking water instead of numbing pain. The day you set aside time for silence. The day you planned your dream instead of only imagining it. The day you chose one routine over one excuse. Nothing changes overnight, but everything changes when the day no longer controls you, you control the day. That power does not arrive in giant waves, it arrives in small rituals repeated until they become identity, energy, and destiny. Expectation and faith magnetize opportunities and miracles because life responds to the energy you carry, not just the actions you take. Most people believe that outcomes are based only on effort, strategy, or luck, but there is a deeper law quietly shaping every result. You do not attract what you times want, times you attract what you times expect, asterisk. Expectation is the inner permission you give the universe to deliver what is already possible for you. When you expect something with certainty, you become a magnet for it, because expectation is not hope, and it is not wishing. Hope still carries doubt, but expectation is ownership in advance. It is the invisible claim that tells life, I am ready for this. Not someday, but now. Faith works in the same way. Faith is not blind belief in something unlikely, it is alignment with something inevitable. Faith is the energy that says, what I desire already exists in the unseen, and it is moving toward me. When a person has faith, they do not chase, they attract. They do not beg, they declare. They do not doubt the process, they trust the timing. Faith is the inner vibration that prepares the outer result. Some people think believing before seeing is naive, but the truth is the opposite. Seeing before believing is reaction. Believing before seeing is creation. Every person lives with faith, but not everyone places it in the right direction. Some people have faith in failure, faith in disappointment, faith in rejection, faith in struggle. They expect things to go wrong, and so they do. Their faith is working, but in the opposite direction. When you expect loss, you close the door on gain. When you expect difficulty, you shrink possibilities. When you expect betrayal, you turn loving people into threats. A person's life does not reflect their wishes, it reflects their expectations. You cannot expect rain and harvest sunshine. You cannot expect the worst and experience the best. Life cannot violate the frequency you hold. Expectation is not positive thinking, it is spiritual agreement. It is the moment when your inner world signs a contract with your future. People who expect greatness speak differently, walk differently, and prepare differently. They make room for what they believe is coming. They create space for blessings long before they arrive. You can always tell what a person expects by the way they prepare. Someone expecting abundance invests. Someone expecting love opens their heart. Someone expecting clarity becomes still. Someone expecting growth studies and improves. Expectation is not passive, it is active evidence of belief. The difference between a life that expands and a life that repeats is often the level of expectation. A person who expects miracles notices them. A person who expects nothing overlooks everything. Life sends signals, opportunities, people, ideas, doors, but only those who expect movement are able to recognize movement. Expectation sharpens perception. Two people can live the same day, one calling it ordinary, the other calling it divine intervention. Nothing changed except the lens of belief. When you expect good things, you are not pretending everything is perfect. You are aligning with a higher law that says what you focus on expands. Expectations are like invitations. They tell the universe what you are emotionally ready to receive. A person who constantly says, "Nothing ever works out for me," is unconsciously rejecting help, favor, and opportunity before they even appear. But someone who says, "Everything is always working out for me," creates a field of allowance where the impossible becomes practical. That is the spiritual technology behind miracles. Miracles are simply events that match a frequency most people never choose to hold long enough. Faith is not the absence of challenges. Faith is the refusal to let challenges decide the ending. Faith does not stop storms, but it keeps you calm in the middle of them. And that calmness is what gives you inner permission to keep moving. Many people pray, visualize, plan, but they never practice expectation. They want the blessing, but they do not prepare for the arrival. They want the breakthrough, but they keep rehearsing worst-case scenarios in their mind. They ask for a door to open, but they secretly believe the door will stay closed. That is not faith. That is fear disguised as practicality. Expectation is also the cure to stagnation. When a person wakes up with no expectation, the day becomes mechanical. There is no room for surprise, no room for divine timing, no room for alignment. But when you wake up expecting guidance, expecting alignment, expecting good news, your energy rises. You become receptive instead of resistant. You start noticing conversations, signs, ideas, people, synchronicities that were invisible before. Expectation is a key that unlocks unseen assistance. The universe is always speaking, but only the expectant are listening. The mind loves to replay yesterday, but expectation points toward tomorrow. It breaks the loop of repetition and directs your energy where you are going, not where you have been. Faith and expectation make the future louder than the past. When you live like the best is yet to come, the past loses its authority. You stop reliving old wounds and start rehearsing new possibilities. That shift in focus is what activates divine support, because life moves in the main direction of your dominant belief. Expectation is not a feeling you wait for, it is a decision you make. You can decide to expect progress even when the evidence is not here yet. You can decide to expect healing even when symptoms remain. You can decide to expect provision even when resources look limited. The unseen responds to expectation the way a seed responds to water. When you expect, you are watering the possibility. When you doubt, you starve it. Every delayed blessing is not denial. It is often waiting for the moment your expectation matches its vibration. There is something extraordinary that happens when a person refuses to lower their expectation to match their reality, and instead raises their reality to match their expectation. That is when life bends. That is when ideas, people, timing, and situations converge. That is when the impossible becomes the only logical outcome. Not because life suddenly changed, but because the inner world finally aligned with the next chapter. Faith is not asking, will it happen? Faith is declaring, it is already mine, and the timing is catching up. Expectation is not about forcing outcomes, it is about entering agreement with the highest version of your life, and holding that agreement long enough for the external world to obey. When expectation and faith become your daily state, life no longer feels random. You begin to see meaning, timing, guidance, patterns, and purpose everywhere. Opportunities stop being accidents. Blessings stop being surprises. Miracles stop being rare. They become natural responses to a soul that finally remembered its power.